Hey, I just wanted to jump on and make a quick video for those of you using the NumWorks online calculator or the NumWorks app. It's the same thing. Just to go along with this first section to make sure you're entering the list correctly, finding all the features, and just to show you some cool things that I found in class that you might want to see. So what we have here, I just have the data set over here on the right, but this is where you start off. And so normally, if you're just doing like 1 + 1, you would be in calculation. But if you want to go back to that menu, you just hit the home button and we're back here again, and we want to spend time in statistics. These are going to be the most two common ones, calculation, statistics, that we're going to use in this class. And again, just to get back to that, you'll click the home button. So I'm in statistics. And what I want to do, I'm going to do number 1. So I'm going to enter these numbers into my list right here for value. So I'm going to have 1, let me get on the screen, 1, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 8, 9, 9, and 13. And as I'm doing this, the 1 auto fills in frequency because we're not dealing with a frequency table, so we're just going to let that happen. Now where this gray box is, that's where my cursor is. And what I want to do is get from data over to stats. So I can just go all the way up to the top of this table. Now I have data highlighted in gray. I'm going to go over to stats. Okay. And here I can see I entered 10 data points. This is the number of data points is 10. And as I go down, 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 down to the bottom, I have that the mean is 6.5 as in U, or the sample mean, X bar, is also 6.5. Because remember, the sample and population mean are the same thing. So you can find both of those symbols that we talked about in the 2.6a video right here. And I feel like my computer thinks I want to write stuff on it. Okay, well, we'll just ignore that. You can find both of 6.5 right here. Okay, so I also want to do number 3, and my Adobe is being kind of a pain, so hopefully I will be able to type this in. But before I do, I'm going to go back to my list right here. Remember the gray cursor, I forgot about that. So we got to go all the way up to stats, and then go over to data, hit OK. And in order to clear this, I'm going to use this clear button right here. Now this little X, just a back arrow, it's just like deletes one thing. But if I want to just do all of this at once, I can use clear, which is written in yellow. So I'm going to hit Shift, clear, and it'll give us a little warning just to make sure that this is what we want to do. And I'm going to go to confirm. Okay, and now my table is blank. My Adobe has gotten its mind back together. And I'm going to do problem 3. Problem 1 and 2 are basically the same in terms of method. So you could double check your answer to number 2, but I'm not going to do that here. And so the reason I'm doing number 3 is it lists the data and the frequency for this table. So I want to list the data in the value column and the frequency in the frequency column. So I have 2, let me get that on the screen, 2, 3, 4, 2, getting my arrows, it's kind of taking me all over the place, 5, 2, and 8, 1. Now, one thing that's important is that these pairs go together. So for example, if you forgot the 5, if you accidentally wrote this as 8, and then you're down here and you thought you were done, and then still getting used to the computer controls. Okay. If we wrote it like that, and so you just tried to fill in with the 5 and 1, you'll notice that the V1 column is different from my data column, even though my frequency column is the same as the frequency column on the paper. We can't have that. They both have to be, they both have to match up. The 8 has to go with the 1, and the 5 has to go with the 2. So they don't have to be in order. I can just switch it right here and change 8 to 1 and 5 to 2. As long as they're across, they're together. The 5 is with the 2, the 8 is with the 1, and so forth. It doesn't matter the order that they are going down. Okay, so then now that I have my frequency table listed, I'm going to go back to stats And as I scroll down with the down arrow back to mean mu or sample mean x bar, you'll see just like in the notes, our answer is 4 for both of those. Okay, so that's the only difference. Frequency table, you type in the frequency. If it's not a frequency table like number 1, you just leave the frequency as 1. The last thing I want to show you is this middle part that we keep skipping over, which is graph. So I'm going to go over to graph and hit OK. And this is for people that need to draw a histogram. Maybe you haven't done your 2.1 homework yet, or when we come up to the project, there's going to be a histogram. Or in the next section, there's a box plot. You can do that on here too. So we'll just do the histogram since that's what we've talked about. So I'll hit OK, and I see that I have a histogram drawn for the frequency table in number 3. It says that this first interval goes from 2, not including 3, and it has a frequency of 3, which is what my table said. And as I go over, I have a blank space here because there was nothing in the 3s, but there was 2 4s, there were 2 5s, so we can see that right here with the frequency, and then there was 1 8. The other thing that this picture tells us is the relative frequency, which is something we also talked about in 2.1. And so the relative frequency for 8 is 0.125. The relative frequency for 5 is 2.5. And you can just click through and see that. So if you just wanted to have it draw it for you, that's something that it does. In fact, if you're like, well, I don't really want a bin with a 1, I want a bin with a 2, that's fine. We just go to settings and we say we want a bin width of 2, and it will take care of that for us. So as I said multiple times, I love this free calculator. It's new and exciting, and I hope you love it too. If you're using the other one, that's fine. I have those videos as well. Email me if you have any questions, and I will keep popping in with extra NumWorks videos for those of you that are liking it.